Chosen one, stop right now. I need your absolute, undivided attention. Do not scroll. Do not multitask. Do not tell yourself that you will come back to this later, because later is the exact trap the enemy uses to make you miss the moment that never returns. This is not a casual video on your feed. This is not a random coincidence. This is an urgent summons from heaven itself. And if you walk away right now, you may never realize the magnitude of what you just stepped past. Something far bigger than luck is reaching for your soul today. You are standing at a massive turning point, a divine intersection where your life is shifting beneath the surface, even if your physical eyes can't see the movement yet. Doors are swinging wide open, but hear me clearly. Others are quietly preparing to close forever. There is a signal being sent right now to interrupt your current direction, to stop you dead in your tracks before a single wrong step becomes a permanent disaster. The thoughts you've been entertaining, the delays you've tried to justify as logic, the plans you've been holding on to until you feel ready. Some of it is not what you think. If nothing changes in your spirit today, the cost of your hesitation will be far higher than you ever expected. This is not a message of simple motivation. This is not a cozy word of comfort to make you feel better about staying where you are. This is a direct, divine warning. The future you've been desperately asking for in your prayers is closer than you realize, but the risk of losing it is just as close. There is a narrow window here, a thin sliver of time where heaven is leaning in to listen to your response. Understand this: hesitation is not neutral. Staying still is a decision. Pause your life for a holy moment right here, because one small choice in this very second determines whether what's coming next works for your glory or against your peace. There's a reason one crucial piece of your puzzle hasn't been explained yet. Everything you've tried to protect, everything you've hoped would finally break through, is hanging in a delicate balance. Mark this moment. Stay present. Stay alert. What is about to be revealed next will only make sense to the ones who didn't walk away when it mattered most. Chosen one, hear this with your core. Every second you hesitate, you risk letting go of a door that was opened for you and you alone. This is not pressure. This is recognition. If your spirit is truly awake, you already feel the tightening in your chest. You feel the urgency. Some will stay with this message until the final second and watch what once seemed impossible begin to align with supernatural speed. Others will turn away, lured back into the noise, and they will never understand the miracle that just slipped past them in the dark. This moment asks for your readiness, not your comfort. Pay attention. Something deep is being revealed, not to overwhelm your mind, but to correct your course while there is still time left on the clock. There are moments when God does not gently nudge you. There are moments when He interrupts you. This is one of those interruptions. Like Samuel hearing his name in the dead of night before he even understood who was calling, you are being summoned before you fully grasp the why. This is not a subtle hint. This is a loud, spiritual wake-up call meant to pull you out of the deep sleep of your routines. Until now, the signs in your life may have felt fragmented, easy to doubt, or simple to dismiss as just life. Not anymore. The message is now crystal clear. Where you are headed is close, but you are not yet fully aligned. The promises that look appealing to your flesh might actually be hollow. The paths that feel familiar might just be delaying your true arrival. Each delay you allow only strengthens the noise around you, the distractions that dull your awareness and keep you circling the same mountain instead of rising to the peak. This urgency exists because God sees beyond the horizon of your current struggle. He sees what is forming in the shadows, what is approaching your front door, and what is desperately trying to pull you off your assigned course. People, situations, and even your own loud thoughts are competing for your focus right now. But this moment is rare. It is as rare as Peter being called out of the boat while the storm was still at its peak. This is your invitation to step forward before conditions ever feel safe. What you do in the next 5 minutes determines whether this moment becomes your rescue or your greatest regret. If you fail to take hold of this alignment right now, the confusion in your life will only deepen. This is why heaven is reaching for you today, while there is still room to turn the ship around. Understand this in your spirit. Nothing about this is accidental. Divine warnings arrive with exact mathematical timing. Not when it's convenient for your schedule, but when it's necessary for your survival. The very instant you recognize this call, something inside you sharpens. A clarity that most people never touch in their entire lives is beginning to form in your mind. This marks the opening of a new chapter, one where the guidance does not flicker like a dying candle, but illuminates every single step ahead of you. But listen, it only unfolds for a heart that is 100% open. You were shaped for this exact point through every ounce of pressure, every month of delay, and every year of quiet endurance. What you thought were frustrating detours were actually your secret preparation. The original design, the first calling placed within your DNA before you were born, is finally ready to surface. This goes deeper than your mental readiness. This is alignment at every level, your spirit, your will, and your movement coming into a total divine agreement. Your path has been watched closely by the Father. Your resilience has been counted. Your growth has been measured. The groundwork is almost complete. When what has been forming finally activates, it will not whisper. It will move through your life with the force of a hurricane, asking for your courage, your awareness, and your steady resolve to stand exactly where you were always meant to stand. This is not a small decision. If you keep moving without discernment, you will drift toward destruction without even realizing the bridge is out. Stop. Pause. Take a holy breath right here. Become fully present. Do not let your mind wander to what you're doing next. Because what happens in the next few minutes is the difference between walking in circles and walking into your kingdom. Before we go a single step further, I need you to do something that might look simple on the surface but carries immense spiritual weight in the unseen realm. This is an act of agreement in the spirit. First, hit the like button on this video. Let that click be more than just a gesture of support. Let it be a bold declaration that you refuse every scheme of the enemy and that you stand firmly with what God is speaking over your life right now. Second, subscribe and stay connected, not just to a channel, but to a continuous flow of messages designed to keep your spirit awake, focused, and alert against the static of this world. As we move toward 20,000 subscribers, your connection helps ensure this urgent warning reaches the hearts it was meant to awaken. Third, take a moment to write 999 or 777 in the comments and share your city. Let this be a prophetic sign between you and the Almighty, stating clearly, I am not the one who is lost. I am the one you are calling back into alignment. I am awake and I will not be led astray. Understand this, you were shaped for this very point through every ounce of pressure, every month of agonizing delay, and every year of quiet, painful endurance. What you thought were frustrating detours were actually your secret preparation for a moment like this. The original design, the first calling placed within your DNA before you were even born, is finally ready to surface. And this goes deeper than simple mental readiness. This is alignment at every level, your spirit, your will, and your movement coming into a total divine agreement with heaven. Your path has been watched closely by the Father. Your resilience has been counted. Your growth has been measured by the one who knows the end from the beginning. The groundwork is almost complete. When what has been forming in the shadows finally activates, it will not whisper. It will move through your life with the force of a tidal wave, asking for your courage, your absolute awareness, and a steady, unshakable resolve to stand where you were always meant to stand. This is not a small decision you are facing. If you keep moving forward without discernment, you risk drifting toward total destruction without even realizing the ground beneath you has shifted. Picture a seed that has rested in the cold ground for a very long time. It carries everything it needs inside its shell, yet it waits for the exact right conditions to break open. That seed represents your destiny. Every struggle you survived, every quiet act of faith when no one was watching, and every single moment you didn't quit has been shaping this very instant. What is forming now is not just ordinary clarity, but a widening, powerful awareness that prepares you for an increase you have never handled before. But hear this, growth cannot be rushed. You don't command a seed to bloom. You align yourself with what it needs to thrive. This moment asks for your trust, not your control. What is activating inside you is more than just a list of achievements. It is a total transformation of who you are becoming. This is the threshold where your familiar, comfortable patterns dissolve and your true purpose begins to take a tangible shape. Forces beyond what your physical eyes can see are converging right now, opening paths, exposing deep truths, and clearing away everything that no longer belongs in your future. Your readiness matters, but your alertness matters even more. Every decision you make in this narrow window either carries your momentum forward or quietly delays what is trying so desperately to emerge. You are close. You are much closer than you think. Yet something subtle still pulls at your alignment. It's a small imbalance, barely noticeable to the world, but capable of interrupting the entire flow of your life if left untouched. Your mind may feel prepared, and your plans may look solid on paper, but destiny is not powered by human structure alone. The spirit is the engine. Until it fully ignites, the road ahead can feel uneven, confusing, or filled with resistance that seems to come out of nowhere. What is required of you now is not more frantic effort, but a deeper, quieter alignment, because what is about to grow will demand every single part of you. This gap you feel is not a verdict against you. It is an opening. Nothing here speaks of punishment. It speaks of expert guidance. What is being revealed to you now is the exact place where your foundation is meant to be strengthened, not torn down. Recognition of this truth is, in itself, an act of mercy. Seeing it means you are already closer to the finish line than you realize. Think of a fine instrument being tuned before a great, life-changing performance. Even the highest quality strings cannot release their true sound if they are just slightly off the mark. Your spirit is the same. It must come into full, vibrating resonance with what is moving toward you from the heart of God. Only then does the resistance soften, the direction clarify, and your purpose finally ring true. Becoming aware of this slight misalignment is not a delay. It is the first necessary act of alignment. When you acknowledge the parts of yourself that are still half asleep, space is created. Space for divine correction. Space for real power. This is where God's intervention becomes intimate and incredibly precise. Like Gideon being called while he was still unsure of his own strength, you are being invited higher before you feel fully ready to climb. Something rare is forming in the atmosphere around you. What is preparing to flow into your life requires a vessel that is awake, perfectly aligned, and willing to rise into what it was chosen to carry. This is not symbolic talk. This is a real surge of sacred light moving toward you right now. It is meant to ignite what has been dormant for years and awaken what has been waiting for this exact second. It is reaching you because you are able to carry it, but understand that nothing is forced. This moment asks for your consent. Receiving this level of blessing requires openness, radical trust, and the courage to release the doubts you've been rehearsing in the silence of your mind. Every time you hesitate, something in the world tries to interfere. The world is crowded with distortions, false turns, and subtle drains on your focus. This light is the counterweight to all that chaos. It protects you. It clarifies your vision. It cuts through the illusions of your past the way the fire spoke from the burning bush without consuming it. What is being offered to you right now is not just more noise. It is guidance strong enough to stand against any level of confusion the world throws at you. If you turn away now, the warmth of this moment will fade, and the clarity will slip past you. But if you lean in, if you choose to stay present, everything begins to change. This light does not only awaken your intuition, it sharpens your discernment, strengthens your inner core, and exposes paths that were hidden from you just yesterday. This is the call to rise fully awake. What you choose in this very moment determines how brightly the next season of your life unfolds. Receive it now. Do not delay. Let it move through every single part of you without a shred of resistance. Holding back right now does more than just slow you down. It weakens the very flow of the divine energy trying to reach you. Trust, on the other hand, strengthens it. Faith expands it beyond your current limits. Readiness stabilizes it so you can actually carry what is coming. Stopping here is simply not an option for someone like you. What has begun inside of your spirit is already in motion. It is powerful. It is irreversible. And it is already reshaping the fabric of your life as we speak. But hear this. It asks for your full, undivided presence. Every single distraction that pulls at you right now is not an accident. It is intentional. Every hesitation you've dressed up as logic or common sense is actually a quiet, desperate attempt from the shadows to slow down what cannot be stopped. You are being called to stay engaged, to move with a sharp awareness, and to honor the momentum that has been building beneath the surface of your struggles for years. This is where your old limits begin to collapse like a house of cards. Fear may surface. In fact, expect it to. Doubt may rise like a tide. Confusion may flicker in your mind like a dying bulb. But do not be deceived. These are not warnings to stop. They are signs that the shift is real. This is the fire that refines you, not the fire that destroys you. Like gold, tested in the most intense heat, what is false in your life is being burned away right now so that what is true and eternal can become stronger than ever before. Layers are falling off of you. Alignment is deepening. Your body, your mind, and your spirit are beginning to move as one single, unstoppable force. And this awakening, it is not meant to be contained within you. It will overflow. What becomes clear in you today will touch others tomorrow. It will influence paths and set unseen changes in motion far beyond your current reach. So, I am telling you, step forward without wavering. Hold your focus. Guard this specific moment with your life. What is unfolding right now carries massive weight, perfect timing, and a divine purpose. Let nothing, absolutely nothing, pull you away from what is being formed right here in this silence. Because this is the exact point where transformation stops asking for your permission and starts moving with its own authority. The testing intensifies here. You need to realize that not everyone around you walks with clean intentions or a pure heart. Some people will consciously try to distract you because your light irritates their darkness. Others won't even realize they are being used to pull you off your course. Influence will come through people you know, through strange timing, and through pressures that feel subtle but are incredibly persistent. This is not paranoia. This is spiritual awareness rising to meet a much higher calling. You are being warned to guard what is awakening in you. Protect your energy like it's the most valuable resource on earth. Protect your heart. Discern carefully. Not every smile carries loyalty. Not every voice you hear carries the truth. Not every open door you see is actually meant for you. As your inner light grows stronger, the interference around you will naturally increase. This is how it has always been for the chosen. When David was anointed, the opposition followed him long before the crown ever appeared on his head. These traps don't always look threatening or scary. Sometimes they appear as once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Sometimes they look like familiar relationships coming back for a second chance. Sometimes they sound like your own reasonable thoughts telling you to play it safe. Learn the patterns of your life. Notice what repeats. Pay very close attention to that unease in your gut that you can't quite explain with words. These are not accidents. They are signals designed to keep you alert, not to make you afraid. Guarding yourself is not about closing your heart to the world. It is about learning to walk with a calm, divine authority. Move like someone carrying a lamp through a pitch-black forest. The light doesn't have to fight the shadows, it simply reveals them for what they are. Awareness is your armor now, and it is being strengthened for a reason you will soon see. Every step you take today presents a decision. Will you stay aligned with what has been prepared for you from the beginning of time? Or will you drift toward distractions dressed as golden promises? The weight of this moment is real. What you carry has eternal value. What you have built in the secret places matters more than you know. But remember, fruit only comes from alignment. Turning aside now might feel easier in the short term. It might feel safer for your ego, but it risks costing you what you've been preparing for longer than you even realize. This is not the time to be casual about your spirituality. This is the moment to walk fully awake. What is being asked of you is larger than your comfort zone, and it is certainly larger than your human logic. Divine direction has always stretched far beyond human imagination. And let's be honest, it has never been gentle on the surface. It calls for a courage that doesn't wait for reassurance from other people. It requires a patience that can endure total silence and a faith that stands firm when absolutely nothing makes sense to your natural mind. Look at those who walk this path before you. Joseph moved from the betrayal of his brothers to the darkness of the prison before the promise ever manifested. Moses faced 40 years in the wilderness long before the deliverance of his people unfolded. Their roads were marked by agonizing delay, devastating loss, and constant resistance. Yet the entire course of history shifted because they trusted what they could not yet see. Your path carries that same signature of divinity. This decision is yours, but the timing is not. Alignment right now brings a level of clarity, protection, and growth that will multiply faster than you can ever expect. When the signals are ignored, confusion takes root and grows like a weed. Delay turns into an unnecessary struggle that God never intended for you. But when you listen, I mean truly listen, the quiet nudges, the repeating signs, and the moments that feel too precise to be a coincidence will begin to form a perfect map for your life. What waits ahead of you is exponentially greater than what you can picture in your mind right now. What has been prepared for you reaches far beyond your current understanding of success. Every sacrifice you made in secret, every season you endured with tears, and every time you chose faith when fear was screaming at you, all of it has been moving you to this exact point. Doors are ready to open that you didn't even know existed. But the greatest reward is not just what changes around you. It is the masterpiece that God is finishing within you. Your perception is sharpening right now for a very specific reason. You are beginning to notice things that most people completely miss. A subtle flicker in someone's eyes when they speak. A heavy pause in a conversation that doesn't feel right. A situation that looks perfect on the surface, but gives you an unexplained unease in your gut. Do not dismiss these signals. This is not your imagination playing tricks on you. This is divine protection in active mode. God is speaking directly to your awareness because the stakes have never been higher. This is not just about avoiding hidden dangers. It is about reclaiming your absolute power. When manipulation is finally seen for what it is, it loses all control over you. When a distraction is recognized, it simply dissolves into nothingness. You are moving confidently now where you once hesitated in fear. Each trap you avoid strengthens your inner core. Each moment of vigilance builds something solid, something unshakable within you. What you have been preparing for in the dark is no longer a theoretical dream. It is moving into your reality. The blueprint of your highest purpose is activating at this very second. Events are beginning to align with supernatural precision. Encounters feel perfectly timed. Doors that were locked for years are starting to open together in a sequence only heaven could orchestrate. The path ahead confirms itself not through ease, but through precision. Timing is tightening. Every step you take matters more than it ever did before. Your path does not only change your personal life, it reshapes the energy of everyone around you. As you rise, others are affected by the light you carry. Your clarity creates ripples of change that you cannot even measure yet. This is exactly why your alignment is non-negotiable right now. Misalignment weakens your impact. But total alignment, it multiplies your force 10 times over. Release all resistance. Let go of the old fear, the outdated beliefs, and those deep wounds that no longer belong to the person you are becoming. Let every single breath you take become a channel for divine intention. Let every intention you set draw power from the source. When alignment deepens, your decisions become simple. Obstacles that used to look like mountains suddenly shrink into pebbles. Truth becomes obvious, almost undeniable. You are being shielded right now, not passively, but actively. Awareness is your armor. Focus strengthens it. Fear only weakens it. Faith is what sharpens it to a razor's edge. You will notice the negativity in your life losing its grip. You will feel the confusion giving way to a massive surge of clarity. The pressure you felt is transforming into raw strength. These shields exist because you are ascending to a higher level of authority. False narratives that used to define you are being exposed as lies. What once seemed normal to you now feels completely off. Bad advice reveals its hidden motive instantly. The stories people tell you lose their grip on your emotions. You are no longer easily influenced by the crowd. You are now sovereign in your energy and your decisions. Time is accelerating here. Momentum is building behind the scenes. This is your launch window. Hesitation carries heavy consequences now that didn't exist before. Small distractions have outsized effects, but focused action unlocks a speed, a force, and a reach you have never known. You were not broken by what happened. You were meticulously prepared. You were not delayed. You were perfectly aligned. You are being guided not gently, but deliberately. You are marked not for a life of comfort, but for a life of massive impact. What you feel right now is not the end of the journey. It is the sound of a new world opening up for you. And once it does, nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again. This is the pause before the acceleration. This is the moment to recalibrate your inner world so it can sustain the weight of what is about to move through it. What lies ahead is incredibly bright, but it does not reward carelessness. It responds to discipline, awareness, and intent. Refuse the fear. Create a sacred space within yourself that can hold this new level of clarity. Pay attention to what surfaces quietly in your daily moments. Guidance rarely shouts at this final stage. It reveals itself to those who are truly listening with their spirit. Everything is being arranged with surgical precision, but the final activation waits on your conscious readiness. Think of this as refining a powerful engine before it is unleashed on the open road. Each small adjustment you make strengthens your capacity to carry what is coming. These days are not a delay. They are your calibration. This is a narrow window where your alignment, your focus, and your intention can permanently shift the entire direction of your life. If you dismiss this moment, the way forward will grow unclear and foggy again. But if you honor it, you move into what you were made for with sharp vision and steady, unyielding power. This is the final alignment before momentum takes over completely, and once it does, there is no return to who you were before. As the flow begins, something deep inside you ignites like a spark in dry grass. Truth starts to register where confusion once lived and thrived. You sense what is real without any effort. True intentions surface. Patterns reveal themselves. What once felt hidden now stands in plain sight, and the clarity feels almost otherworldly. This is not just a passing moment. It is your ignition. An inner power is coming online, a total realignment of your soul with what it was always meant to serve. As this awakening deepens, your intuition sharpens to a point and your perception widens. Situations that once drained your energy or kept you guessing suddenly make perfect sense. What was once a thick fog has now taken a solid form. You will notice how easily the truth reveals itself through the people you encounter. Conversations carry a new weight. Every encounter carries a signal. Each choice you make becomes a direct invitation to move with more awareness and more courage. Let this inner light lead you now. Let it shape your decisions and steady your steps toward the prize. This is elevation at every single level. Your mind, your body, and your spirit are finally moving as one unstoppable force. And with this elevation comes a specific divine gift that changes everything. Discernment. You are beginning to see clearly what once slipped past you in the fog of your old life. You see the distractions disguised as once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. You see the hidden motives lurking behind a charming smile. You see the traps that only become visible once the light of truth is turned on at full blast. What was once concealed is now being exposed right before your eyes. And hear me clearly, this awareness is your ultimate protection. Once deception is seen for exactly what it is, it loses 100% of its power over you. You no longer trade your divine alignment for someone else's approval. You no longer trade the truth for a temporary sense of comfort. You choose growth without a single second of hesitation. Your life is becoming more transparent, more guided, and more alive than ever before. These revelations are not lucky coincidences. They are divine favor in motion. Most people move through their entire lives just reacting to appearances, completely unaware of the spiritual forces shaping their direction. But you are being given true sight. And with that sight comes the ability to move forward with a clarity, a confidence, and a purpose that cannot be shaken by any storm. Everything in your history has been leading you to this exact point. Every preparation, every painful awakening, and every quiet moment of guidance is converging right now. This is not some distant future point you are waiting for. This is the moment. Whatever was holding you back must be released completely and permanently. The doubt, the hesitation, and that old, suffocating fear no longer belong in the reality you are stepping into. The path has already been set. The conditions of the universe have been aligned. What you were born to step into is ready and waiting for your arrival. Waiting any longer adds absolutely nothing to your journey. Movement. Bold, decisive movement changes everything. This moment asks for radical courage because planning and logic alone can no longer carry you where you need to go. It asks for faith where your physical sight ends. It asks for trust when the timing feels uncomfortably tight. It asks for a steady, unwavering belief in why you were chosen in the first place. Every single step you take right now sends a powerful signal far beyond what you can see and shapes what becomes real in your physical world. The choices you make in this narrow window do not stop with you. They reach outward, touching lives and altering the paths of everyone connected to you. Do not minimize the power of now. The divine response is already prepared for you. What you need is already positioned in your path. Your inner fire is ready to lead the way. Move forward with absolute confidence, knowing that supernatural support surrounds you even when you cannot trace its footsteps. This is the very moment your entire life has been moving toward. It begins not with an intention, but with an action. Alignment is the master key that unlocks every single door in your future. Power flows the very moment your resistance ends. When doubt finally loosens its grip and you move in perfect step with what has been shown to you in the secret places, total freedom follows. This path does not confine you. It releases you into your true self. When your thought, your choice, and your movement come into a total agreement, your vision sharpens to a razor's edge and your strength multiplies beyond your wildest expectations. Alignment requires your trust. It requires your discipline. It requires a total surrender, listening closely, moving deliberately, and recognizing divine direction even when it appears as a quiet whisper. The result is unmistakable. Your vision sharpens, your confidence steadies, and solutions to your oldest problems begin to form without any strain or effort. You become a conduit for a higher purpose, carrying an influence that lifts everyone around you simply by being present. Step fully into this alignment. What was once just potential is already moving into reality. You have been meticulously prepared, expertly guided, and supernaturally strengthened for this exact point in time. Walk forward with a resolve that cannot be broken. What unfolds next is not just an ordinary life. It is the result of a chosen one finally saying yes to their calling. The journey is only beginning, but it begins here with full alignment and an unwavering trust in the power that already lives within you. When that inner spark ignites completely, you will feel it in your bones before you ever see it with your eyes. A surge through your heart and your mind. A deep knowing that cannot be silenced by any critic. A fire that refuses to be contained by the small boxes people tried to put you in. This is the now you have been waiting for. Listen closely. The pain you survived was not for nothing. The collapse that nearly broke your spirit was never a sign of your weakness. Those seasons where everything seemed to fall apart were actually evidence. They were proof that something incredibly powerful was being forged inside of you. Ordinary lives are never pressed this hard. Shallow callings are never tested this deeply. What you endured was not meant to make you comfortable. It was meant to wake you up to your true identity. What is moving through you right now is not just spiritual growth. It is a total transformation of your reality. The limits you once accepted as facts are dissolving before your eyes. Reality itself is becoming more responsive to your presence. Your perception is sharpening, patterns are emerging, and opportunities are revealing themselves in places you never thought to look. Dangers are showing their outlines before they can ever strike you. This is expansion, and it demands an awareness that is equal to its power. The spark inside you will not stay quiet anymore. It insists, it presses, and it demands your total alignment. You cannot ignore it without slowing down your own becoming. To resist this light is to delay what you were marked for since the beginning of time. To accept it is to step into a level of purpose that rearranges everything in your universe. The intensity may feel overwhelming at times. Your thoughts are moving faster, your emotions are rising stronger, and your energy is shifting without warning. But do not fear, this is not chaos. This is your capacity being tested and expanded. You are learning how to remain grounded while your spirit expands into the infinite. Your presence is turning pressure into unstoppable momentum. This surge is your confirmation. Fear is losing its grip. Doubt is falling away like dead leaves. Something deep inside you knows with absolute certainty that this is real. Your awareness is rising with every single conscious breath you take right now. Your connection to the divine is deepening. You are stepping into a realm where your potential refuses to be contained by old, suffocating limits. And now the true signs begin. Subtle warnings, quiet nudges, moments that ask you to pause, to reconsider, or to walk away from what is false. Traps do not announce themselves with a trumpet. They appear as doubt disguised as wisdom, as opportunities that have no peace, as voices that sound sweet but carry a hidden, heavy weight. Your perception is sharpening for a very specific reason. You will notice exactly what others miss. A flicker in someone's eyes that reveals a hidden motive, a pause in a deal that doesn't belong, a situation that feels fundamentally wrong without any logical explanation. Do not dismiss this. This is not your imagination. This is divine protection. God is speaking directly to your awareness, and this is not only about avoiding danger, it is about reclaiming your absolute power. When manipulation is seen, it loses 100% of its control. When distraction is recognized, it dissolves into nothingness. You are moving confidently where you once hesitated. Each trap you avoid strengthens the foundation of your spirit. Each moment of vigilance builds something solid within you. What you prepared for in the dark is no longer theoretical. It is moving. The blueprint of your highest purpose is activating right now. Events begin to align. Encounters feel perfectly timed. Doors open together in a sequence only heaven could design. The path ahead confirms itself not through ease, but through precision. Timing is tightening. Every step matters more than ever before. Your path does not only change you, it reshapes the energy around you. As you rise, others are affected by the light you carry. Your clarity creates ripples of impact you cannot yet measure. This is why alignment is non-negotiable. Misalignment weakens your impact, but alignment multiplies your force. Release the resistance. Let go of the old fear, the old beliefs, and the old wounds that no longer belong to the person you are becoming. Let every breath become a channel for truth. Let every intention draw power from the source. When alignment deepens, your decisions simplify. Obstacles shrink into pebbles. Truth becomes obvious. You are being shielded actively. Your awareness is your armor. Focus strengthens it, while fear only seeks to weaken it. You will notice negativity losing its grip. Confusion is giving way to a massive surge of clarity. Pressure is transforming into raw, unyielding strength. These shields exist because you are ascending. False narratives are being exposed. What once seemed normal now feels completely off. Advice reveals its true motive instantly. Stories lose their grip over your emotions. You are no longer easily influenced. You are sovereign in your energy and your decisions. Time is accelerating here. Momentum is building. This is your launch window. Hesitation carries consequences now that didn't exist before. Small distractions have outsized effects, but clarity and action unlock a speed, a force, and a reach you have never known. You were not broken. You were prepared. You were not delayed. You were aligned. You are being guided, not gently, but deliberately. You are marked not for a life of comfort, but for a life of impact. What you feel now is not the end of the journey. It is the sound of something massive opening. And once it does, nothing will ever be the same again. This is where your transformation stops asking for permission and starts moving with its own divine authority. Father, I come before you right now with my spirit fully awake and my heart uncovered. I refuse confusion, I refuse delay, and I refuse every quiet trap that tries to pull me off the path you marked for me. If I have drifted, realign me now. If I have ignored the signs, sharpen my discernment. Let your voice rise louder than my fear, louder than my distractions, and louder than the noise that tries to blur what you are revealing. I surrender my need to control what you are trying to ignite. I release doubt, resentment, and hidden resistance. I ask for holy clarity, holy courage, and holy focus. Guard my steps, seal my mind, and protect what is awakening in me. Let no false door look like my destiny. Let no familiar voice lead me into misalignment. I say yes to your correction, yes to your timing, and yes to the next instruction, even if it stretches me beyond my limits. I am not lost. I am being called back into total alignment. I am awake. I am ready. Amen. You have completed the first step of your total transformation. From the depths of the pit to the heights of the palace, every part of your story has been written with purpose. The waiting is over. The preparation is complete. Now, the only thing left is your movement. The silence of God was never his absence. It was the forge where your strength was created. Your struggle was not a sign of failure, but proof of your heavy calling. The lesson is simple. Alignment is the master key. When you stop resisting and start responding to the divine knock, the universe itself moves to support you. If this video has awakened the fire inside you, comment 999 to declare your alignment with heaven. If you feel we can improve or want to share your unique perspective, press 0 or leave a detailed comment so we can make our content even more powerful for you. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Your connection gives us the strength to keep bringing these messages to the ones who need them most. The fight isn't over, it's just getting started.